You're pouring what you think is pure olive oil into your pan right now, but I'm about to blow your mind. That bottle sitting in your kitchen cabinet labeled extra virgin olive oil? There's a 75% chance it's completely fake. And the worst part? You've been paying premium prices for vegetable oil with green food coloring. I'm about to expose the biggest food fraud happening in American grocery stores right now, reveal which brands are lying to you, and show you exactly how to spot real olive oil from the imposters that could be damaging your health. Before we dive into this olive oil scandal that's going to change how you shop forever, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why that expensive bottle of Italian olive oil tastes exactly like the cheap stuff? Or why some olive oils have absolutely no flavor at all? Well, you're not going crazy. The olive oil industry has been playing one of the longest cons in food history. And today we're exposing everything. The olive oil fraud isn't just some small-scale operation happening in a back alley somewhere. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar deception that's infiltrated every major grocery chain in America. Studies conducted by the University of California, Davis found that over 70% of imported olive oils labeled as extra virgin don't meet the basic standards. That means 3 out of 4 bottles on your grocery store shelf are essentially counterfeit. Here's how this scam works, and it's more sophisticated than you might think. Real extra virgin olive oil comes from pressing fresh olives within 24 hours of harvest. The process is strictly mechanical, no heat, no chemicals, just pure crushing and pressing. But fake olive oil, that's a completely different story. These counterfeit operations take cheap vegetable oils like sunflower, soybean, or canola oil. Then, they add artificial coloring to make it look golden green like real olive oil. They might throw in some beta-carotene for that authentic color, add synthetic flavoring to mimic that peppery olive taste, and sometimes they'll even mix in a tiny amount of real olive oil just to pass basic tests. The most shocking part? Some of these fake oils aren't even made from olives at all. Investigators have found bottles labeled as Italian extra virgin olive oil that were actually blends of cheap seed oils imported from countries with zero olive production. We're talking about oils that never saw an olive tree, let alone Italy. Now let's talk about the brands that are deceiving you. I need to be careful here because these companies have armies of lawyers, but the testing results speak for themselves. Major studies have repeatedly found issues with brands like Bertolli, Pompeian, and Colavita. These household names that you trust, that market themselves as authentic Italian olive oil, have consistently failed purity tests. Bertolli, which positions itself as the premium choice, has been caught multiple times selling oil that doesn't meet extra virgin standards. Their classic olive oil has been found to contain refined oils and artificial additives that have no business being in a bottle labeled extra virgin. Pompeian is another major offender. Despite their Mediterranean branding and claims of authenticity, independent testing has shown their oils often contain cheaper seed oils mixed in. Their extra virgin olive oil has failed tests for free fatty acid levels, which is one of the basic markers of genuine extra virgin oil. The company spends millions on marketing to convince you you're buying premium Italian oil, but the reality is often much different. Colavita presents itself as a family tradition from Italy, but their American distributed oils have repeatedly failed authenticity tests. The oil you're buying at your local grocery store under the Colavita label often bears little resemblance to actual Italian olive oil. Testing has revealed the presence of refined oils and chemical processing that violates every standard for extra virgin classification. Star and Carapelli are 2 more brands that consistently appear on lists of failed olive oil tests. These brands bank on Italian-sounding names and fancy packaging to justify premium pricing, but what's inside the bottle tells a different story. Independent laboratories have found these oils contain everything from lamp oil to synthetic additives designed to mimic the taste and appearance of real olive oil. But here's where it gets really disturbing. Some of these fake olive oils aren't just disappointing, they're potentially dangerous. When you take cheap vegetable oils and process them with chemicals to mimic olive oil, you're creating a product that can contain harmful compounds. Some counterfeit olive oils have been found to contain industrial lubricants, lamp oil, and even traces of pesticides that would never be allowed in food products. The health implications are serious. Real extra virgin olive oil is packed with antioxidants, healthy monounsaturated fats, and compounds that fight inflammation. When you buy fake olive oil, you're not just missing out on these benefits, you're potentially exposing yourself to processed oils that can increase inflammation and oxidative stress in your body. Some of the seed oils used in fake olive oil blends are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which when consumed in excess can contribute to inflammatory conditions.
So how do you protect yourself? How do you identify real olive oil from the fakes? First, let's talk about what to look for on the label. Real extra virgin olive oil will have specific information that counterfeit oils usually can't provide. Look for a harvest date, not just an expiration date. Genuine producers are proud of when their olives were harvested and will display this information prominently. If you don't see a harvest date, that's a red flag dot. The label should also specify the exact region where the olives were grown. Vague terms like product of Italy or packed in Italy don't mean the olives were grown there. Look for specific regions like Tuscany, Andalusia, or Peloponnese. Real producers want you to know exactly where their olives come from because terroir matters in olive oil just like it does in wine. Another crucial indicator is the container. Real extra virgin olive oil comes in dark glass bottles or tins that protect the oil from light. If you see olive oil in a clear plastic bottle sitting under fluorescent grocery store lights, walk away. Light is one of the biggest enemies of olive oil, breaking down the delicate compounds that give it flavor and health benefits. No serious producer would package their oil in clear containers. Price is also a major indicator, though it's not foolproof. Real extra virgin olive oil simply cannot be produced cheaply. When you see a bottle of Italian extra virgin olive oil for $3, the math doesn't work. Quality olive trees produce limited quantities of oil, harvest is labor-intensive, and proper processing and shipping costs money. A legitimately produced extra virgin olive oil from Italy or Spain is going to cost at least $15 to $20 for a decent-sized bottle. Now let's talk about the taste test. Real extra virgin olive oil has distinctive characteristics that fake oils can't replicate perfectly. When you taste real olive oil, you should experience what's called the three positives: fruitiness, bitterness, and pungency. The fruitiness comes from the olive variety and growing conditions. The bitterness is from antioxidant compounds, particularly polyphenols, which are incredibly beneficial for your health. The pungency is that peppery sensation you feel in the back of your throat when you swallow good olive oil. If your olive oil tastes flat, has no peppery kick, or tastes greasy rather than clean, you're probably dealing with a fake. Real olive oil should never taste rancid, musty, or have any off flavors. It should be vibrant and alive on your palate. Here's a simple test you can do at home. Put a small amount of your olive oil in a wine glass, cover it with your hand, and warm it slightly with your body heat. Real olive oil will release complex aromas. You might smell grass, herbs, fruits, or even a slight peppery scent. Fake oils will smell flat or sometimes have a waxy, artificial odor.
Pompeian is another major offender. Despite their Mediterranean branding and claims of authenticity, independent testing has shown their oils often contain cheaper seed oils mixed in. Their extra virgin olive oil has failed tests for free fatty acid levels, which is one of the basic markers of genuine extra virgin oil. The company spends millions on marketing to convince you you're buying premium Italian oil, but the reality is often much different. Colavita presents itself as a family tradition from Italy, but their American distributed oils have repeatedly failed authenticity tests. The oil you're buying at your local grocery store under the Colavita label often bears little resemblance to actual Italian olive oil. Testing has revealed the presence of refined oils and chemical processing that violates every standard for extra virgin classification. Star and Carapelli are two more brands that consistently appear on lists of failed olive oil tests. These brands bank on Italian-sounding names and fancy packaging to justify premium pricing, but what's inside the bottle tells a different story. Independent laboratories have found these oils contain everything from lamp oil to synthetic additives designed to mimic the taste and appearance of real olive oil. But here's where it gets really disturbing. Some of these fake olive oils aren't just disappointing, they're potentially dangerous. When you take cheap vegetable oils and process them with chemicals to mimic olive oil, you're creating a product that can contain harmful compounds. Some counterfeit olive oils have been found to contain industrial lubricants, lamp oil, and even traces of pesticides that would never be allowed in food products. The health implications are serious. Real extra virgin olive oil is packed with antioxidants, healthy monounsaturated fats, and compounds that fight inflammation. When you buy fake olive oil, you're not just missing out on these benefits, you're potentially exposing yourself to processed oils that can increase inflammation and oxidative stress in your body. Some of the seed oils used in fake olive oil blends are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which when consumed in excess can contribute to inflammatory conditions. Another test is the refrigerator test, though this one has some limitations. Put your olive oil in the refrigerator overnight. Real olive oil will usually become cloudy and may even solidify slightly, though this can vary based on the olive variety and processing. However, Some fake oils will also solidify, so this test isn't definitive on its own. Now let me share the brands that actually deserve your trust, the companies that have consistently proven they're selling genuine extra virgin olive oil. These recommendations are based on extensive third-party testing, not marketing claims. California Olive Ranch is one of the most reliable brands you can find in American grocery stores. Their oil consistently passes purity tests and is actually produced in California, which means you can verify its origin. The company has invested heavily in proper processing equipment and maintains strict standards throughout production. Their oil has that characteristic peppery bite of real extra virgin oil, and they clearly label harvest dates in specific growing regions. Kirkland Signature, Costco's house brand, might surprise you, but their organic extra virgin olive oil has repeatedly tested as genuine. Costco's buying power allows them to source directly from reputable producers while maintaining reasonable prices. Their oil typically comes from a blend of carefully selected sources and consistently meets extra virgin standards. Cobram Estate is an Australian producer that's gained recognition for exceptional quality. Their oil is available at many Whole Foods locations and consistently tests as genuine extra virgin. The company controls the entire process from grove to bottle, which allows them to maintain quality standards that many Italian brands can't match due to complex supply chains. Lucini Italia is another brand that consistently delivers authentic extra virgin olive oil. While more expensive than some options, their oil is actually produced in Italy under controlled conditions. They provide detailed information about their olive sources and processing methods, and independent testing has consistently verified their claims. For those willing to invest in premium options, Bonduelle Carapelli isn't the same as the Carapelli I mentioned earlier as problematic. This is a specific line that maintains higher standards. Similarly, certain specialty lines from established producers like Filippo Berio's premium selections have tested as genuine, though their basic lines often fail authenticity tests. Trader Joe's California Estate olive oil is another reliable option that frequently tests as genuine. Trader Joe's has been more careful about their olive oil sourcing in recent years, and their California-sourced oil provides the transparency that many imported oils lack. When shopping for olive oil, consider buying from specialty stores that focus on quality rather than massive grocery chains. Many cities have stores that specialize in olive oil and vinegar, where you can often taste before buying. These retailers typically work directly with producers and can provide detailed information about their oil's origins and production methods. Online purchasing from reputable sources is another excellent option. Companies like the Fresh Market, Williams-Sonoma, and specialty food retailers often carry verified authentic olive oils that you might not find in regular grocery stores. When buying online, look for detailed product descriptions that include harvest dates, specific growing regions, and information about the producer. There are also several subscription services that specialize in authentic olive oil. These services work directly with small producers around the world to bring you freshly harvested, properly stored olive oil. While more expensive than grocery store options, they guarantee authenticity and often provide oils that are harvested within the current year. Here's something most people don't know about olive oil storage and usage. Even if you buy authentic extra virgin olive oil, you can ruin it with improper storage. Keep your olive oil in a cool, dark place away from heat sources like stoves or sunny counters. Heat, light, and air are the enemies of olive oil. Once opened, try to use your oil within 3 to 6 months for best quality. Don't buy huge containers unless you use olive oil frequently. That gallon jug might seem like a good value, but if it takes you 2 years to use it, you're consuming rancid oil by the end. Smaller bottles ensure you're always using fresh oil. The temperature matters too. Don't store olive oil in the refrigerator long term, as constant temperature changes can affect quality. A cool pantry or cupboard away from appliances is ideal. Here's another shocking fact about the olive oil industry. The European Union, where most imported olive oil comes from, actually allows certain processing methods that wouldn't qualify as extra virgin under stricter standards. So even when you're buying authentic Italian olive oil that meets EU standards, it might not meet the higher standards set by organizations like the International Olive Council. This is why California olive oil has gained such credibility. California has implemented some of the strictest olive oil standards in the world, often exceeding European requirements. When you buy California olive oil from reputable producers, you're often getting a product that's been held to higher standards than its European counterparts. The economic impact of olive oil fraud extends beyond just your wallet. Real olive oil producers, especially small family operations, are being driven out of business by companies selling fake oil at artificially low prices. When consumers can buy extra virgin olive oil for a few dollars, It creates unrealistic price expectations that legitimate producers can't meet while maintaining quality. Moving forward, there are several steps you can take to ensure you're buying genuine olive oil. First, research the brands you're considering. Look for third-party test results and certifications. Many authentic producers submit their oils for testing by independent laboratories and proudly display these results. Second, consider joining organizations or following resources that focus on olive oil education. The Olive Oil Times, for example, regularly publishes test results and industry news that can help you stay informed about which brands are trustworthy. Third, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're shopping at a specialty store, ask about the oil's provenance. Knowledgeable retailers should be able to tell you about harvest dates, storage conditions, and even let you taste the oil before purchasing. Finally, trust your senses. Once you've tasted real extra virgin olive oil, fake oils become much easier to identify. The flat, greasy taste of counterfeit oil is unmistakable once you know what real olive oil should taste like. Remember, food is one of the most intimate things we consume. It becomes part of our bodies, affects our health, and connects us to the people and places that produced it. When we choose authentic olive oil, we're not just buying a cooking ingredient. We're supporting traditional agriculture, honest business practices, and our own well-being. The next time you're shopping for olive oil, you'll know exactly what to look for and which brands deserve your trust. Don't let the food industry continue to profit from deception. Demand authenticity, support genuine producers, and enjoy the incredible flavor and health benefits that real extra virgin olive oil provides.